Tell us about your campaign work. Since you're running for office, tell us a little bit about what you're going to. What do you want to accomplish?
Well,
Briefly,
how about this?
Briefly, and I don't want to offend you. If I ask for a few bullet points,
What?
I don't want you to be upset.
Just sit down. I love you, Darren.
Yeah, well, I think Glenn was.
I don't. Sometimes he gets, but he had to get started.
I did know some people wanted to order the book.
40 minutes later.
So,
Amazon.
I just wanted to say a couple of things real quick. First of all, I'd love for you to vote for me if you're in Robertson County.
Why do we want to vote for you?
Well, let's see.
Is anybody running against you?
Well, we have 3 positions open. Okay, you want to know who's running against me?
Yeah.
The people who are trying to infiltrate the Republic of Texas.
See, that's a good answer.
That's who's running against me. People I don't know, never seen, never met, never shook a hand with, never hugged. You know, the last couple of months, well, first of all, I actually, by the grace of God, well, first of all, God gets all the glory. We have a recording office for the Republic of Texas, and let me tell you, Act of Congress is not just a saying. It is literally an act of Congress to get anything done, because everybody has an agenda, period. And you think that in the Republic of Texas there wouldn't be an agenda, but there is. The problem is the agenda that they keep in your face is not the actual agenda. I'm learning.
In other words, the
learning.
handout that you get in advance.
Let me
is
tell
not
you
the same
something
thing.
right now. Everything that we're seeing outside there, we're running parallel right now in the Republic of Texas. If that doesn't disgust you, I don't know what does.
We're familiar with that.
So let me give you a little bit of information. I've been called all kinds of names because with Terry McKay, who's been a beautiful assistant in the Republic of Texas. Now she's taken some heat. They hate her. What's funny is they don't really hate me. They hate her. And it's because she breathed life into the Republic and was able to breathe life into me and speak life over me. And God has used her to help me feel like I was equipped and stop standing in my own way. And we got the recording office in the Republic of Texas done. So I love Terry, and I want you to vote for her if you want to vote for me, because I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't have been able to deal with all the crazies by myself, 1, and 2, without her speaking life into me. I don't know that I would have been able to be as planted in that.
She's got your backbone.
Well, she has been, she's an asset, period. She's smart, she's got different gifts than I do. And she, but none of us need or want any glory. That's not the reason why we're there. I joined the Republic in the House for 2 reasons. 1, to make sure that it didn't turn into the de facto, and 2, to bring God into it, because that was my puzzle piece. And I wanted to make sure that they weren't doing things that were going to keep us in bondage, and here we are. The last 4 months, everything that I have done, every piece of legislation that I have done, which is probably about 5 or 6 that have been called unconstitutional, was to delay and keep them from being able to bring in their plan into the Republic. So you can call me unconstitutional all day long, because everything I did was a counteract. And you want to know how I knew? God. God laid it in our lap. God told us what was going on. God planted the evidence. This committee that we have going on is warranted. And the problem is that the people that you see are not the people that are the problem. The people that are the problem are not even the people that you've been told are the problem. The problem are the people that you don't know, who are dictating and pulling the strings of the people that we love, and they don't know it. And then the people that have been sent to handle us on social media and bring all kinds of stuff out, God has shown us. And so had it not been for God, I promise you right now, within a couple of months, the Republic of Texas wouldn't exist and we wouldn't have any jurisdiction. Now, I believe that there are a lot of people who believe they're doing the right thing. And they probably would be if it wasn't for the people behind the scenes trying to manipulate and make it look like one thing, when I'm telling you right now, God has shown us it's another. So, another person that I'd like to be in the House with me And Terry is Rose Yomi. She was sitting back here. I'll tell you what, she's a little feisty. She's a firecracker. Hello. She also believes in God. She also believes in truth. She also believes in justice. And she's not afraid to speak up. She's not afraid to have a target on her back. I'm telling you right now, that last Saturday meeting, I was glad I drove my mother's car, traveled with my mother's car, because I was glad that they didn't know what I was in, because I felt like my brakes would have been cut. How sick is that?
It's gotten that bad. I didn't realize it.
So when y'all hear me or the accusations I've been unconstitutional, I'll wear it. You want to know why? Because God stopped all of their attempts to be able to do anything, and I'll stand up and I'll tell you right now, I got evidence. So all the BS is BS. There's evidence. What's even more is I know there's more that I don't have that I know exists because I've seen it or heard it. So I'm not standing up there to play house. I'm not standing up there to play government. The Republic of Texas has jurisdiction, which is why everybody and their brother is after it. So let me ask you a couple of questions. I'll tell you right now. I don't think Tim McLean can fund a government. It takes billions, if not trillions of dollars to fund a government. So who's pulling his strings? Who's pulling his strings?
Ding, 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 ding. That's it right there.
So let's ask the question. How many people do we know could pull those strings?
Rothschild, Rockefellers.
Deep State?
George
Deep
Soros.
State?
George Soros.
FBI?
George Soros, him alone has a history of paying.
So let me ask you this. We're sitting there watching the slow disclosure, the slow drips that have gotten a little bit faster now the last couple of months. We're sitting there watching it out there. You don't think they'll want to come in here? Let me tell you something. I don't have a tag. I don't have a driver's license. I don't have any of this stuff. My mortgage is set for foreclosure again in November, but by the mighty grace of our Father, they ain't getting my house. You want to know why? Because God showed me the jurisdiction that the Republic of Texas gives, because think about even all the history of what people fight over. It's the land. That's why everybody's hair's on fire right now. And I don't give two flips of a wooden nickel if you think I'm crazy or not. I'm telling you, one, I got proof. And two, how are we supposed to raise up a godly de jure government if we're just going to roll over because it's easy? Because let me tell you something, I'm tired. And the people I got to fight, I still love. But I love you and you and you and our families and what actually the Republic of Texas stands for more. And I need some help in the House, because guess what? The House is divided. And we're missing things by one vote. We could not even get the people who I believe are being manipulated, we could not even get them to allow us to remove 2 House members who have not attended one meeting all year, in person or online.
That's crazy.
What's the problem with that? You know why? Because it affects the quorum counts.
Is that Wayne?
No. Wayne came back. I don't know what happened to Wayne. I thought he was probably in jail because Wayne is a warrior. He's like, you can do whatever you're going to do to me. I ain't signing nothing. So if you're not communicating for that reason because you're standing up, that's one thing. But people who have not even who have not gone to do anything, okay, I got a problem with. And so they want to call us little cliques. Yeah, we got a clique. We're trying to fight because God showed us what was going on in pieces, and we didn't fully understand it. What's funny, I didn't fully understand it until after Saturday when they cut my mic.
They cut you off?
Oh yeah, I was the third, again, planned speaker, and I led in with a prayer, and I said, I'm going to lead in with a prayer, and they were afraid because I asked some difficult questions in a very, tried to be respectful, humble. I mean, y'all were there. I tried very hard to just, get some answers. And they were so afraid I was going to rip the Band-Aid off. And what's funny is I didn't have a plan. I didn't have anything set up. I walked in there, everybody's like, the night before, what are you going to say? What are you going to say? I don't know, whatever God wants. Well, we got to have a plan. I got a plan, whatever he wants. I walked in there that morning, 2 people beeline to me. Misty, don't say anything. I said, it's whatever God wants. I'm done. God told me when we want him more than we want everything else, he'll give us everything that we want. I'll get you 1 second. But we don't want him enough, which is why we're on our face, which is why we're still sitting there fighting each other when we're fighting the wrong enemy, because guess what? We're not each other's enemy, even if we believe in different things. You know who the enemy is? Those evil bastards out there. And you know what? We've, clicked up pretty well, and a lot of us have been trying to do things, and we all have different gifts. Imagine if we actually did it on a Republic of Texas scale, what could be accomplished? But the problem is we don't have our arms locked, and the fact that we don't have our arms locked, they can penetrate us. And guess what? They don't give you Vaseline when they do it. Sorry, think about it. So all of these are distractions, and then the distractions that they put up in the beginning to give us the distractions, but when you go back and you see pictures that are dated, you go and you see information that was instantly done the moment something happened, and what happens right after the fact, you go, you know what? Wait a minute, something ain't right. So, I believe God has me where he wants me, and God's going to do something, but I don't know who my opponents are. I can tell you that the goal is that people have been brainwashed to believe that the Republic of Texas has no jurisdiction. And what harm can that do to the Republic with people high up thinking that there's no jurisdiction? Well, they can easily give it away. And, I'm a warrior for God, and I know I'm not always right, and I know I'm a feisty mess, and I know that y'all have seen every shade of Misty that there is. It's okay, because I'm being real. I'm not trying to hide anything from anybody. The testimony that God will give me throughout this walk is going to be beautiful no matter how many times I get hit. You know how ticked off the devil is at me? My house has almost caught on fire twice within the last 2 months. My car poisoned me. My ceiling fan fell out of the ceiling in my living room. One night when I was on a house call, I have a big dent in the middle of my wood floor. Thank God nobody was downstairs at the time, but devil's pissed. And I'm laughing. I'm laughing. So, I know there's a lot of things going on, and I know there's a lot of things that don't make any sense, but God is going to disclose it. And so, I just need people to understand that the devil wouldn't be fighting so hard against the Republic if it didn't have any purpose. So we can get all upset, we can get all, deflated, we can be all those things momentarily. We can't stay there. And we can get angry, but guess what? We can get angry and sin not. We can have a holy, righteous anger, but we can't sin in the process of doing it. And I just want you to know my heart is in the right place. I love these people. But I love our family. I love God. I love the land. I love what God is doing more than I love anybody else. And if I got to be the one to stand up there and be brave and bold because God gave me a mouth when I thought I was standing in line for arms and legs and I got in the mouth department, hey, he knew from day one. I wasn't going to be afraid to stand up and say hard things, but my heart's in the right place because I still love these people. And so we're fighting hard, and I need people in the house with me to fight hard, because I'll tell you what, the other side is always more organized than we've ever been. And we know that. The last few years have proven that. So I need your love, I need your prayers, I need your support, I need your honesty. I need you to not be afraid to come to me and say, Misty, what about this? Sometimes I can answer in a way that you'll figure it out, and sometimes I can't. But I'll tell you right now, this committee is going to be transparent, and you're going to get updates. And in the end, if necessary, we'll get you the information. We're not playing games. This is the Republic. This is a government. So, if you could hold on just a moment. She had raised her hand earlier.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you're bringing all this up because we wanted to continue being involved in the Republic. So we went down to Waco and attended a meeting. And I told him, I said, I do not feel God in this place. It is totally different, and I wanted to leave within the first 10 minutes. So there's, like you're saying, there's just, God is not.
You know what's funny is, I get yelled at all the time because they're like, all you talk about is God. You need to do a constitutional test. Well, guess what, buckos? God wrote the Constitution. So I'm following his law first. The other stuff's coming. I mean, we all got in this in the beginning to help each other. I never professed to be a damn scholar. What I do profess to be is somebody who has a heart, eyes to see, ears to hear, and brave enough to try to take the time away from my family to stand in the gap for such a time as this and to be utilized as a vessel for God. And I don't care what that looks like. So if I don't get reelected again, I'm sure God will put me somewhere else. But I believe right now that I am there for a purpose, and I want, during the investigation, people's heart to be in the right place, because a lot of things can happen in an investigation, and you know, disclosing the whole purpose of all of that is to bring healing. And I believe that we are all going to be healed out there and in here. And I think that's God's goal. And I want to be where he wants me to be, and I think he wants me to be there because I don't know if y'all have known, but I've healed quite a bit since the very first time y'all met me. Just imagine how far I had healed before y'all ever knew Misty. He's doing something in all of us. You know what's funny is, bring God to this Tuesday meeting, and do you want to know that I very rarely hear Glenn have a conversation or send a communication without mentioning God in it? Isn't that beautiful? I mean, we all love crotchety old Glenn. I love him. I love him for him. He's brilliant. But I can see and witness change in him. So God is moving. God is working in all of us. And if we'll just step out of the way and let God do what God wants to do and quit worrying about all this ridiculous stuff, then God can actually take us where his plan is, which is beautiful. Go real quick. We have a time.
Okay, I don't remember the question.
I'm sorry.
It's not been important, so go Tuesday drive.
So real quick, if y'all want to know who I'm voting for Mike Blackwell, I'm voting for Glenn Fern, I'm voting for me, I'm voting for Terry McKay, I'm voting for Rose Giovanni, and I am writing in Sheriff.
Do you have the ballots?
Well, they were passed out earlier.